How's everybody doing? It's Isaac back again, going to teach you guys some CPR, right? So let's get straight into it. Going into a business, trying to create CPR, aka creating personal relationships, is very important. There's a few reasons why creating personal relationships are important. For one, you want the business owner or the client to trust you, right? Another thing is you have to be the type of person that people listen to, right? If nobody wants to hear you out, it's kind of hard to explain a product or trying to convince somebody to switch over to your services if you're not trustworthy, right? So I'm gonna give you guys 3 things to keep in mind when you're building CPR, when you're creating a personal relationship with the client. The first thing is C factors, right? So what are C factors? SEE, it's an abbreviation. Smile, eye contact, and enthusiasm. With C factors, this builds trust, this builds rapport, okay? You go in smiling, you have good eye contact, and you have some type of enthusiasm, right? By enthusiasm, we don't mean you go in there wailing your arms, lighting the place on fire. It's bottled enthusiasm, right? It's enthusiasm that people are curious as to why you're so enthusiastic about your product, right? First impressions matter. Show the customer you care, as well as have a customer service mentality. Now, what that means is you're catering to their problems. You're catering to their situation. Depending on what they have and what they need is what you're gonna give them. 3 other things I would say is body language is very important. So when you go into a business, have proper posture, right? Be confident in your speech as well. Speed of pitch is very important. You don't want to go in there, hey, how you doing? My name is Isaac. I'm with AT&T. It sets the customer off, right? So have some type of rhythm with your pitch. Another thing is tone of voice, right? So if you're very monotone and you haven't done any research on tonality, I highly suggest looking up a Jordan Belfort video about tonality, right? Tonality is a roller coaster that you put people on with your pitch, right? The highs and the lows. Exaggerating a price, right? Or being super low when you want to be concerned. I can give you an example of somebody says they're paying $250. You'd be like, oh my God, it's $250, right? Or you can be like, $250, right? It gives off a different message. Okay, keep that in mind when you go in there and you're doing your intro. So next thing I'm gonna give you guys is find or create a problem to become a problem solver, right? We're trying to solve these people's problems. We are a service-based business. So when we go into these businesses, there's 3 things that we try to identify, right? It's systems, savings, and a service. So if this customer doesn't necessarily like the bill that they're paying, that's a problem that you're able to solve. Now, if you're talking to somebody who doesn't have an issue with what they currently got, you find a problem or you create a problem, right? So in their mind, paying $180 isn't a big deal, but for what they have, it kind of is, right? We have fiber for $70, fiber for $110, even at 1 gig for $160, right? So not only can we cut their bill in half, Comcast has a copper loop system, which means they share with everybody in the area, and we don't. We have a private connection. So not only do we give them symmetrical speeds with the private connection, we also cut their bill in half. They don't know that that's a solution for their problem, which is where you come in, right? Hopefully that all makes sense to you guys. I'm gonna move forward to customizing your presentation to the customer, okay? So whatever the customer needs, make sure you guys are giving them the best bang for their buck, right? It's not about getting the bill the cheapest. It's about giving the customer what makes sense, right? Giving them what's valuable, giving them what makes sense. The last thing I'm gonna give you guys is the acronym FORWARDS, right? So it's 5 letters that break down into a system, right? So starting with the F, it's family, right? These are things that you can talk about, right? So starting with family, if they got kids, if you see a picture of them in the background of their office, you can talk about kids, right? You can talk about their home screen, right? Sometimes people have their family on their home screen. You can talk about it. How many kids do you have? You know, what's your oldest? Are you guys from? Things like that. Next letter is occupation, right? So we just went over F, which is family. Second letter is occupation. How long have they been working there? How long have you been in the business for? Do Do you have any other businesses? Do you plan on opening any other businesses, right? Things like that is what you can talk about with occupation. Third letter is recreation. Okay, so hobbies. What do you like to do for fun? Right, some people like to go skiing, some people like to play basketball. Whatever it is that they might be into, you try to figure it out so you can relate on some type of topic. The moment that you guys relate to somebody is when you guys have their full attention. The next letter would be D, dogs. What pets do they have, if they have any at all? People love talking about their animals that they have, right? Dogs, cats, rabbits, whatever the case may be. You get them talking about their dogs or their pets, you can talk about that for hours. Last letter would be S. Right? What does that stand for? Sports. Okay? What's their favorite sports team? Did they play sports? Or if there's a boxing match that just happened that everybody's talking about, is trending online, mention it, right? Hey, did you hear about the football game that just went on last night? If you get them talking about something that they're interested in, that's how you can create CPR. That's how you create personal relationship, okay? It's with the acronym FORDS. FORDS. Okay, so hopefully that made sense to you guys. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. Also, share them to a friend who might need help creating some personal relationships. Other than that, thank you guys for listening. My name is Isaac. I'll see you guys in the next one.